Look, you can have children, or you can eat dinner, but you can't eat your children for dinner unless you're in The Juniper Tree by the Brothers Grimm.
My mother, she killed me. My father, he ate me. My sister, Marlena, with a tear and a sigh, sank down on one knee, laid my bones 'neath our tree. What a beautiful bird boy am I.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Long, long ago, about 2,000 years ago, in fact. Okay, so I'm already interrupting this fairy tale because the Grimms rarely attach dates to their story, making this such a jarring opening for one of their fairy tales. The time frame implies a biblical setting, and the plot might as well be from Revelations. There lived a wealthy merchant and his wife, Mariah. The couple had everything they could possibly want, but for one thing: a child. Mariah prayed from dawn to dusk, but every month she was visited by the Red Sea, with no sign of it parting. One snowy day, Mariah was standing beneath the twisted juniper tree outside her home, peeling an apple. The knife slipped and pierced her finger. A few drops of blood hit the stark white snow.
My greatest wish would be for a child as red as blood and white as snow. But not a girl. That seems like it could get complicated and murdery.
Oh, honey, it's gonna get complicated and murdery regardless.
No, a little boy. A little boy as red as blood and white as snow.
As soon as Mariah uttered the words, her shoulders relaxed, her jaw unclenched, and she felt certain she'd get her wish. Her women's intuition was right. She became pregnant. A month passed. The snow melted, and the baby was the size of a wee poppy seed. The grass grew in the second month, and the baby grew to raspberry size. Flowers bloomed in the third month, and the baby bloomed into a perfect little plum. Birdsong ushered in month 5, and Mariah sang lullabies to the pear in her womb. The trees fruited in month 6, and the fruit baby grew to the size of an ear of corn? I don't really get the fruit vegetable baby sizing thing. During this 6th month, Mariah had second thoughts. She worried her child might have been conceived by unnatural means. She and her husband had been trying for ages to get pregnant. Suddenly she makes one wish under a juniper tree and it comes true? What were the chances of that? Juniper berries were used long ago as birth control and an abortifacient. In month 7, the baby continued on its veggie track, growing to a cauliflower size, I guess. Mariah privately consulted a midwife and returned to the juniper tree, which was now bursting with berries. She stood, entranced by the dots of blue among the sharp needles. She remembered the wise woman's advice, and fingered a berry. She hesitantly laid one on her tongue and swallowed. She ate 2 more, then a mouthful, then a handful. She stopped only when she couldn't reach the rest. Then she sat under the tree and wept at what she'd done. Despite her attempts, the baby survived, and not only that, refused to choose from a fruit and vegetable binary. It was the size of a squash or a melon. Baby said, "I can be both." However, Mariah was sick and bedridden. She grasped her husband's hand one night.
If I die, bury me under the juniper tree.
The merchant, unaware of her poisonous picnic, chalked the macabre request up to mood swings. In the 9th month, the leaves rusted and fell, and unto Mariah a watermelon-sized child was born, a boy as white as snow and red as blood, just as she specified. Mariah took one look at him, named him Jonas, then made her exodus, dying of joy, which is the best-case scenario where fairy tale death is concerned. The merchant fulfilled his wife's last wish, burying her beneath the looming juniper tree. He grieved for a long time, but eventually he found love again with an ebony-haired woman named Hetty. Hetty also bore him a child with less seasonal world-building, a little girl she named Marlena. The siblings grew close, but as Jonas approached adolescence, Hetty increasingly resented her stepson. She couldn't contain her antipathy. She took it out on him, and the boy went from snow white to black and blue. Hetty's resentment was fueled by Jonas's likely inheritance. She grew paranoid that her husband would leave his riches to the boy and none to their daughter. By Jonas's 10th year, Hetty's resentment grew so powerful, it caught the attention of humanity's most famous shit-stirrer, Lucifer, the evil one. A moniker for the devil that we should totally bring back. One day, Hetty picked apples while the children were at school. She dropped one, and it rolled away from her. And as she bent to retrieve it, she heard someone drawl.
Wouldn't you love to see that boy's head roll?
She found a tiny man sitting on her left shoulder.
Who are you? I'm Lucifer, the evil one.
Hetty looked at her right shoulder. It was empty. That seemed like a bad sign.
It would be so easy, Hetty. Kids die all the time. Just one little accident, and Marlena's future would be secure.
Hetty considered this as she brought her basket of apples to the house. She deposited all but one in a large trunk.
Have you ever noticed the heavy lid and that sharp lock on the trunk? Sure would be a shame if a careless little boy got his neck caught under it.
Hetty stared at the trunk, imagining the lid crashing down on Jonas's neck. It was a tempting idea. She took a large bite out of her apple and chewed.
Mama, we're home from school. Ooh, apples! I want one. Not yet, honey. Your brother gets his pick first. Now you go change out of your school clothes and clean your room for me. Okay. Not you, Jonas. Oh, okay. Can I help you? Would you like an apple, darling boy? No, thank you. I'm not very hungry. You never appreciate anything I do for you. I'm so sorry. I mean, yes, I would love an apple, stepmother. Good. Then get it yourself. I'm not your maid.
This was usually how Hetty's and Jonas's exchanges went. Still, Jonas sensed something was particularly off. Terrified at upsetting his stepmother more, however, he tentatively knelt in front of the massive trunk and peered over the side.
What are you waiting for, Hetty? Do it!
Hetty slammed the lid of the trunk down with a bang. The boy's body slid down the side, leaving his head among the apples.
Okay, I'm out.
Lucifer is like that one friend who only pops into the group chat to start drama. That's just the beginning of the violence and gore the Brothers Grimm foist upon us in the Juniper Tree. Truly one of their most upsetting fairy tales. And you can read the rest of it anywhere you like, but I encourage you to pick up the version I recently adapted for my book, Up Fairy Tales, which debuted this week from W.W. Norton. It's available wherever you most like to buy books. The audiobook even features the little ditty I opened this video with, which is the musical theme of the Juniper Tree, if you will. I hope you get your hands on it, and I hope you love it. As much as you can love a book where a little boy gets beheaded, among other up things. But hey, I don't judge. At least, not that much.